All right, let's do this. So this is the WrestleMania 31 podcast by, what are we calling ourselves? The Nunzio is God Job Squad? Is that us?
Yeah, sure.
Sounds fun.
All right, that's us. That's what we decided to call ourselves last night while we were watching How It's Made videos. But here we go. We're going to give you predictions to WrestleMania 31, who we think is going to win, what we think might happen. I've got some user predictions. Thank you to the 4 people that submitted in full information to be used here. I will say your names as I read out your things, but let's begin. Let's introduce each other. Well, you guys can introduce yourselves. Who are you? And we're all going to co-host, I guess, because we have ample time at this point. We don't have much of a time format, so we're going to try to keep things going one after the other instead of rambling on for 3 hours. Podcast shouldn't be as long as a pay-per-view, but each one of you guys, I want you to just say hello.
Hello, I'm ex-ASU dude.
I'm Zesty.
I'm Zipkill Frag.
And I am Rage321, aka Leather Cheerio 2, probably 3, maybe 4. All right, so let's get into this. Let's start with the pre-show. We've got 2 matches. We've got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and then we've got the Super Tag Team kind of Battle Royal in a way. Let's start with the Andre the Giant Memorial. That is a fact. Battle Royal. I've got the user predictions, but let's start with our predictions first. Who wants to go first? Let's have a good rotation. How about ASU? Toothy, are you talking? I don't know if you're talking.
He's just talking in the mumble chat.
That's not going to work, so you're just going to listen. All right, I have your predictions on my screen. ASU, Zesty, Zip, and then me, and then I'll read the user predictions.
I think for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, I think Ryback's going to win. I noticed they put up a training video for him on YouTube. I don't think they did that with anybody else other than the main event players. So I think he's going to win it, and I think he's going to start his push after that.
I'm going to go with the Vegas odds and go with Ms. Dow as my pick. Just a little fun fact here with the armbar being moved to the pre-show. This is going to be the first time since WrestleMania 13 that neither Kane nor Big Show have competed on the main card. So interesting little tidbit there. Zip, take it away with your prediction.
Oh, yeah, it is actually pretty interesting. So I'm going to guess Ms. Dow as well, and that it'll go similar to the previous armbar. And it'll end with Ms. Dow turning on Miz, and then they'll be mid-card feuding. It'll set a mid-card feud to Extreme Rules, and then both will go back to low-card Hell. And I predict that Meltzer will give it 1 star.
1 star, that's harsh. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that Ryback will win this because of all the people that are listed. Yeah, it would be great if one guy won or the other guy won, but in reality, yeah, Ms. Dow's going to turn on Miz, and that's going to go nowhere because Miz is going to turn on him, screw him up one way or the other. Realistically, going forward, Ryback will be the winner. So I'm going to call, what's his name? I'm going to call him the legit winner, but mark out moment would be Ms. Dow. Absolutely. I think we all would mark out if Ms. Dow won, but it's just not going to happen. All right, let me get some predictions here. Surprisingly, no one here has mentioned Curtis Axel, but I think he's going to continue his streak of just losing at life. But Tooth Fairy says that he wants Axelmania to reign on forever, and that's great. Another person who submitted would be, don't forget the E. Thank you, Mr. Admin, for sharing. I appreciate that. I don't know if you're listening or not. He has taken Ms. Dow. He definitely hopes that hoped Axel would eliminate Ms. Dow after a false win elimination of the Miz, but Ms. Dow winning is the right call in his mind. Why is it the right call? I don't know. Next to help was Clippy, CLP 605. He thinks that Heath Slater will win. Exact words were Heath effing Slater, because F you all. But then in parentheses, he gives his real answer, which is legit answer is Ms. Dow, which is much more realistic. Heath Slater is a nothing. He's just a body. Sorry. But also the Donut Fascinator, the Donut Creator, the D's Nuts. He also submitted, and he says that Heath Slater is going to win. Why? Potential career killer round 2, which is what he thinks the armbar is. Lots of stuff going on, Mizdow and Miz and all that stuff. But in the end, he thinks that Heath Slater will be the winner. I don't agree, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be a pretty good. I like battle royals. The fact that it's not a pre-show, I think that is great. Gets a lot of people moving around. There's a lot of action that you can't really follow, and it gives the illusion that it's going to be a lot more action for the entire pay-per-view. Any notes? Any notes to talk about for that match?
The Vegas odds are number 1, Damian Sandow. 2 is Sheamus. 3 is Ryback. 4 is Mark Henry, and then 5 is the Big Show.
Is that the match that's going to have an NXT guy in?
It
Yeah,
is
Hideo
Tommy.
Itami.
That's right. What do we expect from him? Do we expect him to be tossed out within a second, or is he going to stay late?
I think he's going to hit the GTS near the end, and then get tossed out.
I think it's a bit ambitious for the for a pre-show. So I have a feeling he might get thrown out midway through.
Yeah, because you got to consider the people who are watching WrestleMania. They might not all be true wrestling fans, as we all are. They could just be a casual, and they see WrestleMania as the World Series or the Super Bowl or whatever, and they see some guy and he gets tossed out, and if they don't sell him properly or whatever, if he does the GTS, will they call it a GTS? Will they acknowledge it as a go to sleep?
No, not at all.
Definitely not.
They might. I mean, it would add legitimacy to Itami for the casual fans if they say the innovator of that move.
I like that. It's not something that WWE usually does, but it's something that I would mark out for. If they even said that, if Cole or whoever was doing the pre just said that, it would be great. All right. Anything else to add about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal?
I would like to add, I'm going to say Itami's going to go Final 4 before he gets thrown out.
That's a lot of talk about Adami by the commentators. They can't be like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? He's an NXT guy. But if they start burying him because he's an NXT guy, I'm going to be so angry. Very angry. All right, moving on to the second pre-show entertainment match here is Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, who are the champions, versus Los Matadores versus the New Day versus the Usos. What is the format here? So ASU, you go first. Predictions.
Well, the Vegas odds have Tyson Kidd and Cesaro the heavy favorite, followed by the Usos, then New Day, then Los Matadores. I'm going to go with Kidd and Cesaro. I think they're a great team right now, and they're just over. And I don't see giving the Usos another title shot or another title reign being good for anybody.
I'm going to go with the New Day. Probably kind of a sleeper pick, but I don't think they're going to put it on the Usos, especially if one of them, whichever one of them, is still nursing an injury. But I'm gonna go New Day on this one, I think.
I think I'm gonna go Usos because, well, it's probably gonna go around to a coin flip for the winner, because they're both coin flip for the winner, land tails for the Usos because they win all. It'll be an okay match. Other teams they just probably won't matter in the end, and Meltzer might give it a 2-star.
I hope they give this match time. It has potential to be one of a pretty good match.
If you have to give it time, it'll be fun.
You know, I asked you guys to do durations for matches, but there's too much information to throw in here. But I agree, this match should go a little long. I think that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro will win it. Really, the Matadors, they're just giving them something to do, or they just needed a fourth team to make it interesting. But New Day, they've had a false start in their life, so I don't see them going anywhere. Usos is really the only one that I can imagine getting anywhere, but they also lost as champions to Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, so that's embarrassing. And the Usos will never come back as anything but jobber material to me. So that my pick is Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Tooth Fairy also chooses Cesaro and Kidd, as does everyone else who was decided here. Some notes. Let's see. Fights start out normally. Late in the match is when the chaos happens. Yes, because it's probably going to be spot after spot with a total of 8 people and the little guy flying around. Oh, and the girl. She's going to be 2 girls. There's going to be a lot of people outside, aren't there? I just realized that. All right, so Flying Usos, Splash. Wow, Twitch is very specific about what Tooth Fairy thinks is going to happen. That's great. Powerbomb Netbreaker combo. on one of the New Days. Wow, either you are a psychic, or that's very specific. E, don't forget the E. ABC says Uppercats finds a way to retain. Now wouldn't be the right time to shift the titles. Usos are hurt, Matadors are shit, and the New Day is the New Day. No, exactly. Clippy believes that Kid and Cesaro is going to win because the Matadors and New Day haven't built up to the point where they seem credible as contenders. That's pretty much what I've said, and I agree with him. Usos are believable as they held the belts before, but with the rumors being that one of them is injured, Kid and Cesaro are the only ones who seems to be reasonable as champs. The fact that it's a title and the fact that it's free for anybody tells me that there's going to be no story really here. It's just going to be Kid and Cesaro. Any notes on this match?
No, I don't have anything listed extra.
Not really. No.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it. Just the one guy might be hurt. It's kind of a throwaway match, and unless there's anything else to talk about, we should move on.
I think we're good in that regard.
All right, sounds good. So I put down nobody as a markout prediction winner because I could care less, honestly. I mean, if Tyson Kidd came out, if Bret Hart came out and won, I'd mark out. But, I mean, it's just not going to happen. All right, so now we are in the pay-per-view. There's been lots of pyro. It's still daylight there, I would imagine. So I just guessed what the order would be. I'm thinking that Randy Orton and Seth Rollins would probably be first. Let's start with ASU. Who do you think is going to win?
I think that Randy Orton is going to win this match. I think he's the returning champion. He's got to get over on Seth, and plus I think Seth's going to be busy later on anyway, so he's going to end up having a good night.
I've got Seth in this one. I think J&J Security are gonna, pull a fast one on Orton, and he's just gonna get screwed out of it. Did want to point out that if you do have the order match order right, Rage, if Orton and Rollins go first, then Orton will join Paul Orndorff as the only person to go from main eventing WrestleMania to opening the event the next year. Bryan can also do that, but I don't see the IC title match being first. I see it being later down the card as well. So, but Rollins is my pick.
All right.
I got Orton going over in the end, and it'll be actually a not bad match. It'll definitely open strong, and so they might have the feud continue to SummerSlam with Orton winning in the end, and Meltzer might give it a 3.
So I'm a little undecided about this. I mean, Randy did come back. They did little skits with the Authority, and is he going to join, not join? That's what he did before he left, as far as I remember. You've got J&J, it's going to be out there. You've got a Kane and a Big Show that have already been in the Battle Royal. They might not be there. But with the J&J thing and the whole Authority angle, I have to give it to Rollins, only because I don't know. It just with all the people that he has, that's just how it's going, how the WWE wants it to be. So the Authority needs to win. So I don't see anyone but Rollins. Think about it. You've got 2 people in the Authority who have lost. I couldn't imagine a third person losing. And then later when we talk about Sting and Triple H, I couldn't imagine if possibly Triple H loses, the entire Authority loses. What does that set up? Raw the next night where they go ape shit and just start firing people or some other stupid crap that we don't want to watch? So I'm just going to be PC and say Rollins is going to win. I just need 1 second here to fix something. All right, so Tooth Fairy says that Seth Rollins is going to win. Orton's going to dominate, beat the shit out of him for the first couple minutes, which would be great. And by the way, we haven't seen the old Randy really with the whole slithering snake thing. So whenever I hear the theme song hit, and I used to think of like Psychopath, like in his head, he's got all these voices. Now I don't. I just see a guy who's just being a douche. Like he's acting like how I wish Cena might want to act if he were to turn or something. Just being a douche to the Authority. But that's my opinion. Anyway, Tooth Fairy, I feel at one point in the match, Rollins will try and might succeed in hitting Orton with the money in the match in the briefcase over the head, I guess. If he does the buckle bomb and curb stomp and a pin for 3. E says that he wants Seth Rollins to win, legit most anticipated match, which is true. You would imagine on paper that would be a fascinating match. Being WrestleMania with all the gimmicky, well, not even all the gimmicky, but like, staying back and Undertaker, is he going to show up? I don't know if he's going to show up. For a legit wrestling match, I would say Orton and Randy would be pretty good. Top contender for that. Let's see, Seth. He wants Seth to win, grabbing the win, coming 3-0 in WrestleMania. I see this feud continuing through Extreme Rules. Orton will probably come out on top in the end, but I think Rollins could use the solo win on the biggest stage. Rollins can win, but he still has the authority and J&J behind him. I wouldn't consider it in my heart as a full win. Maybe like 3/4 of a win. More stuff. Clippy CLP says Randy Orton in his mind. Expect either one of them could win. I fully expect this feud to continue past Mania, which I agree. Rollins losing doesn't set up his potential getting his heat back by cashing in the contract, which he probably won't, he thinks. I don't know. But it does give the slight bit of uncertainty, which is always nice, yes. So uncertainty is definitely what WWE gives me. And the Donut creator, D's Nuts, says Randy Orton, decent build-up so far. He likes it. He complains about WWE Creative. Both guys are great in-ring performers, and this should be one of those matches to carry the pay-per-view. Not much to say else. And that's it. That's all they're saying about that. What are the odds on this one?
It's basically a pick'em, but Seth is a slight favorite. I think that this match should be a good match, but the build definitely hurt it. The build kind of sucked in my mind.
I agree with you. When you build it, when you've got all these other people behind them, and they try to do it like, hey, you're part of us, you're not part of us, and then he screws him, and then Sting pops in. Okay, Sting is there. What's he gonna do? I don't know. But WWE Creative, who knows? Maybe nothing. Any additional notes on this match?
No, just the Orndorff thing, and then obviously Rollins still has his contract briefcase, so we may see that later on in the evening. Who knows?
I was about to say it might go on later.
I think if this match is first on the card, that the cash in is definitely a possibility.
That's how I would sell it too. I believe that we're about 20 seconds ahead of the game here, so that's good. So it looks like we're going to probably do an hour, so let's keep going. So the next match is The Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. So, ASU, what do you think?
I think Bray is going to win because I think he needs it, obviously, and they need a new mystical dead man character anyways. And I think it'll be good for Bray because he'll be one of only 2 men to ever beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And I just hope that Taker's in good shape because last year's match, I know he was knocked out, but last year's match was, other than the shock of Lesnar winning, it wasn't a very good match at all.
I've got Taker in this one for the exact opposite reason, because I think if you have Wyatt win and be one of 2 people, then you've booked him into the same hole that you've booked Lesnar into, where he's virtually unstoppable, and I just don't see that from Bray Wyatt. Fun fact for this match, Undertaker and now Triple H, now he's facing Sting, the only 2 competitors at WrestleMania that have wrestled in a single-digit WrestleMania, so going all the way back to 9. And like I said, my pick is Undertaker. I don't see it happening with Wyatt upsetting him. And that's all I have for this one.
Right, I don't have an actual pick for this because it's too up in the air for me. It could be a match of the night, but it could also be like absolutely terrible if Taker gets hurt early on. And it might be Taker's last match or his second last if they want to come back for 32. But if it's really good, I'm thinking Meltzer might give it a 3 3¾ or to 4. And if it's terrible, probably just 1 star.
I'm thinking that I don't want The Undertaker in the WWE anymore. I mean, the last time we saw him, so they're basically working off of the name at this point. Who knows what shape he's in? He could be in great shape. Is he gonna try to entertain us on Monday? Is he gonna follow Monday after that? Is there gonna be a storyline? There's no way Bray Wyatt's gonna lose because Bray Wyatt is working many times a week, traveling, something the Undertaker's not doing. If you want to bury and destroy Bray Wyatt, you need the Undertaker to win, because if you don't have a worker, we'll talk about Brock Lesnar later, but if you don't have a worker that's there to put the work in, then whoever you lose to, okay, the wrestler hasn't wrestled in a year and he beat the guy who wrestles often, has done stuff. That looks poor. WWE does stuff like that though, and these people will go for it. So I'm taking let me see what my markout moment is. I think my markout moment is if Bray Wyatt wins, just because he beat the Undertaker, and Undertaker's 21-2. Versus if the Undertaker wins, then what was gained? I don't think they're that stupid to do that. Everyone's got Bray Wyatt to win this. Tooth Fairy, don't forget the EABC, QVC, HSN, CLP has got him, and Donator, D's Nuts. Everyone. Spooky match, gimmicky match. It's going to take multiple Strabagales to pin the Taker. Taker sits up. Everybody's saying the exact same thing. As much as I want Lesnar to retain the main title, I have a hard time believing they'll do it. See, everyone's kind of saying what I'm saying as well. It just doesn't make sense to have the Undertaker win. But if this was WCW, I'd say the Undertaker wins. If this is WWE PG, I'd say that Bray Wyatt's winning on this one. Is it what's his name? Bray Wyatt becoming the new Undertaker, the new spooky, swampy guy? Do we think that's what's happening? Like, he's the new guy. He's going to get a new Paul Bearer type guy, and he's going to just be that gimmicky guy who stays gimmicky for the rest of his life, even when reality wrestling happens around him. We've got a minute and a half to talk about that. So, who's got opinions on if Bray Wyatt's the new Undertaker?
God, I hope not.
I think he is. I think not necessarily the undead character, but the spookiness, the mystical, and he's got a really gimmicky type role, anyways.
Yeah, I have a feeling they might book him as next Undertaker because they always need somebody to scare the kids, especially this gimmicky, spooky, scary guy.
I'm apparently just the opposite of everyone in the chat with all of my picks and all of my predictions. I just don't see it. I think they just keep Bray Wyatt where he is right now. I don't think it's necessarily the next spooky character or spiritual, mystical character. I think it's just he continues to be what he is now.
Win or lose?
Win or lose, yeah. Like I said, I picked Taker, so I don't see even a loss really harming the quote-unquote character of Bray Wyatt.
If it was one of a series of matches, I could say he could lose no problem, and then he could come back and beat the Undertaker, and finally the Undertaker retires. But Undertaker's not a human, let's say. He's undead, so he just needs to die and just be buried forever. Is Bray Wyatt the person to do it? I'm not sure. It'd be great to see an NXT person do it. Honestly, I like NXT, so it'd be great to see that. But I can't stop thinking about Husky Harris. Come on. He's a little chubby guy, and I'm glad he gets those Hawaiian shirts and everything. That's great. One day I'll get past that, but I'm a bitter old man, so it's going to take me a little bit longer than everybody else. All right, so we're perfect on time. Let's move on. Who is next? Let me see.
Divas match was up next.
Divas match. All right, so we got AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bella Twins. So this is just for pride, obviously, because there's no female tag team titles. But let's begin. ASU thoughts.
I think the Bellas are going to take this. I think there's no reason to give AJ a win because I don't think she's going to be around very much longer. And they could set up a AJ versus Paige sort of thing for as AJ's last time in the WWE. So Bellas are going to win. And there's no markout moment for me. It's just going to be a match. I hope they get time and they can do some good stuff because the Bellas have improved a lot. So
Again, I'm gonna buck the trend and go with AJ Lee and Paige. Preferably, I'd like to see kind of a slow burn Brie Bella turn on Nikki Bella for all the crap she put her through. But regardless of whether or not that happens, I still have AJ and Paige winning this one.
All right, I forgot to say Marco last match. Taker and Bray have Bray do the crab walk and Taker sit up at the same time. Yeah. Anyway,
Crazy.
Yeah, what? Anyway, AJ Page, Bella Twins. I have Bellas winning. It's probably gonna be a cool down match from the Taker and Bray Wyatt, because they'll be burned out from previous matches, and right now it's pretty much just a pointless feud. And they're making it even more pointless with the hashtag Give Divas a Chance. It's pretty much just a work, and it's not for the title. A triple threat for the title would have been better to advance the story. If it's given good time, it'll be alright. Otherwise, it'll be terrible. Meltzer might give it a dud.
The whole AJ Lee Page relationship is shit. Obviously, AJ coming in. Is she Team WWE? I don't know. The Bella Twins, are they? You know, we all watch Total Divas. We're all those type of guys. And they, of course, it's reality TV. They swerved whether or not they're going to resign. And I don't know. Does anyone know if they resigned or not?
I don't watch Total Divas, so.
I'm assuming they did.
Let's assume that they like money and they did sign. So I'm sure that they did. Assuming they did. What is the point of this match? So we just have, that's the Divas division right there. These 4 people. I think this is an embarrassing match. Doesn't have any emotion behind it. Shouldn't be on WrestleMania. Who wins? Okay, AJ Lee and Paige win. Okay, now what? The Bella Twins win. Okay, now what? Nothing's changed. I could care less. Let's do the Bella Twins, because Brie mode. Cluck, 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 cluck.
Jag thinned.
Cluck, 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 cluck. There you go.
Disco music.
Thank you. All right, so we've got 3 out of 4 of the user predictions going to AJ and Paige and Bella. Well, he likes the Bellas. He's on board with Team Nikki, so I guess anything Team Nikki will do, then he will do as well. And I don't blame him. He wants me to yell something during the segment. I feel I'll be demoted if I don't do it. All aboard the Team Nikki train. He misspelled team, but that's okay. Embrace the fakies. Believe in them. Nikki and Brie will find a way to secure the W. It's a lead into the next night where we find a new diva. Who? That's right, because if you guys remember, Paige debuted after WrestleMania last year. So let's hope that it's what's her name? Dana Brooke? Because damn. He also goes on to say, but it's the best way to progress the ever so historic championship reign of Nikki. I'm banging John Cena, Bella. Clippy says he's got a crush on AJ and Paige since the feud started. Well, that's cute. But that's not his reasoning for who's going to win. I really don't have a lot to say regarding this match. Okay. D's Nuts says, give Divas a chance, am I right? Better than a Battle Royal. Not looking forward to this match. I'd like to see a Battle Royal of women. But it would have to be NXT women, especially with Becky Lynch. That's who my favorite is. And Tooth Fairy, I haven't forgotten about you. Paige and AJ get into a little argument. Nikki will make one of the opponents fall when the other is trying to tag out. Brie will eventually turn on Nikki. What? Making them lose. If it isn't Brie, then Paige will turn on AJ. But I think AJ and Paige will win by tap out, with Paige doing the PTO on Nikki. That is very specific. That would be very exciting. And wake me up when it's over. Any other information about this?
No, but I do want to say we get 6 minutes for this segment, so over under 6 minutes for the match at WrestleMania.
Wow, we should have done a prediction during the matches to see. I might overdub it. Who knows?
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, it'll probably be a piss break match.
What are the odds on this? I'd like to know what the odds makers, after they finish laughing, what they made it.
The AJ Lee and Paige are the favorites over the Bellas.
That just hurts, man. That just hurts.
I wonder who's putting this match together, because if it's Sarah Del Rey, it'll probably be a good match. If it's any of the bookers they have on the main roster, it's gonna suck. And I think it's definitely going to go over 6 minutes.
I think it will. I mean, you've got 4 hours of wrestling. You're not really going to have a lot of promos in between. So, Battle Royal and the other thing, that's 2 matches, so that's an hour. I don't know. Unless The Undertaker is on a walker, and that'll be the longest WrestleMania walk-in ever. Like, ever. Like, he's got a walker, it's got little tennis balls on the bottom, and he's taking a step while the gong is just going. Shows you how much I like The Undertaker. All right, moving on. We've got the Intercontinental Championship ladder match between the champion, who is a loser, unbelievably, Bad News Brown, who hasn't won anything in a very long time, versus Luke Harper versus R-Truth versus Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan. Thoughts, ASU?
I think that Dean Ambrose is going to win this match. And the only other thing that I don't like the build, I think it's stupid. It treated the belt kind of like crap, even though they were saying they wanted to elevate the title. I'm interested to see what Stardust will be coming out in, because that seems to be the trend lately on pay-per-views. And but that's about it. I think in the end, it's going to be basically Ambrose beating out Daniel Bryan. Maybe Ziggler, but I think Ambrose is going to win this.
I neglected to say that Stardust was in this match, and I apologize.
Yeah, I see that in your notes. I was like, wait, where's Stardust?
Shows you how much I think about Stardust. Go ahead, Zest.
Okay, so quick hit on this one. Bad News Barrett has won 4 matches, and that's not house shows, just TV, pay-per-view. He's won 4 matches since champ, and that was since winning the title way back beginning of January, on January 5th. So, I mean, they're just chopping him out at this point. But this is going to be my gimmick moment of the podcast here. I'm going to go with my, stone cold lock of the night. I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan to win the ladder match.
Well, I got Ziggler probably winning the ladder match and turning heel mid-match. And it'll definitely be a great match. It'll be definitely possible match of the year, or even night for most people. But you're definitely gonna have a rematch, probably Ziggler Bryan or Ziggler Ambrose, or all 3, and they might triple threat all the way to SummerSlam. Everybody going completely white hot. And I think Meltzer give it 4 3/4. No Tokyo Dome.
No Tokyo Dome. Never forget. Listen, I'm gonna go with my mark out guy. If this guy wins, I don't know what I'll do, but
Eat mayonnaise.
If R-Truth wins, I will take a turkey leg and dip it directly into mayonnaise, and that's what I will eat for a week straight. If R-Truth wins, I would see what happened is I was watching R-Truth way back when he was doing his little Jimmy thing, and then I stopped watching wrestling. And I come back to wrestling, and where's R-Truth? He's nowhere. Then suddenly he's on the screen, and he's not as crazy and nutty as he was. So I was always an R-Truth fan. Who will I think ultimately win? Well, it's going to be the sleepy. It's going to be the greasy slime ball, Dean Ambrose, taking out the win. I feel bad for Bad News Barrett because I enjoyed him in the Nexus and I liked his leadership skills, but the way they are burying him, I don't think he's going to be able to breathe once they're done. What'll happen to these guys afterwards? I think that Ziggler will continue to ziggle. I think D-Bry will continue to D-Bry. R-Truth will just be irrelevant. Luke Harper, really? Come on. But Bad News Barrett, I think if he loses his championship, it's going to be really bad for him. Because what's he got? Unless he's going to Cena and just start going out. I wanted to lose that so I can go after the heavyweight. Maybe that's the direction they want to go. I have no idea. But my mark-out moment would be R-Truth winning. But I think that Ambrose is going to take it away. Let me read some predictions. All right, so we got splits here. We've got 2 people going for D-Bry as the winner. And we've got 2 going for Dean Ambrose, so nobody has faith in Luke Harper. That makes me sad. A little tear rolls down my cheek. R-Truth or Dolph. I figured that Dolph would be the favorite for some people, but it turns out that he's not. They enjoy him exactly where he is because he's untouchable. He's going to sell whatever it is he's doing, and we're going to be entertained by it. But I guess he's not going to grab those brass rings. Tooth Fairy says Truth will dance around. Well, it's going to be a whole ladder situation where they're going to set up ladders and people are going to climb it halfway, and suddenly the gravity of Saturn is going to hit, and they just can't get to the next rung because it's so heavy. and then they'll get knocked off. But anyway, let's see. Truth will dance around. Stardust will use other people's ladders. Suicide dive. Ambrose and Dennis Barrett will fight at the top of the ladder until he gets knocked over by Truth. How could you, Truth? When everyone is down, Brian hobbles up the ladder and grabs the title. That's what Tooth Fairy has to say. Don't forget the QVC says only 2 men should win this title here, D-Bry and Dean Ambrose. Despite Dean's current run and being the original man to spark the road to revitalization, as I proudly call the IC title, Intercontinental titles, Road to Mania, Daniel Bryan should win the title. He got a good couple losses under his imaginary Intercontinental belt recently, but I think Bryan is the right man at the right place at the that's a bunch of bullshit. What the fuck? What does that even mean? That's just the biggest fluff that you would put in an essay when you're reading spaghetti and you don't have enough space and you're just making up words. Look, Genghis Khan isn't even here to laugh at that joke. Clippy says he wants Dean Ambrose. Dean has been at the forefront of the title hunt since the odd storyline started, which is true. He's explained his reason to want to win, and he's been booked strong enough to be seen as a winner. Not to mention, he needs to end his PPV losing streak. Everyone else just feels they are there, probably is what he meant to say, even the champion, Barrett. Donut wants Dean Ambrose to win, or believes he will win the match that should steal the freaking show if given enough time. I think this one will have enough time, 4 hours. We've got some top names listed there, plus Stardust. I understand it's just another we don't know what to do with this guy type of thing, so let's make it a ladder match type of match at WrestleMania. But holy hell, the possibilities. This is what the main event should be like. Who gets the title? Where does everyone go? This is by far the most exciting match for me. I can't wait to see it. Says the Tooth Fairy. Let's see. ASU, what do we have for the odds on this match? Who's going to win? What do they think is going to win?
Daniel Bryan is a favorite, followed by Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler. Bad news, Barrett, R-Truth, Stardust, and Luke Harper are very low odds of winning this match.
I think that's sad. R-Truth should win. He should be the total champion. And then pawn the belt. I think that would be funny as hell. All right, so hold on. Let's see if there's any additional notes. Zesty, any additional notes on this match? There's lots of people involved.
Not any additional notes on this match. I do want to point out, though, that at least Barrett will still have the JBL and Cole show to fall back on if he does indeed lose the title.
JBL. I forgot he exists. I hate that guy. All right, moving on. Next topic, we've got Rusev, who is the champion, the United States champion. Rusev, a Russian, my God, versus John Cena. ASU predictions, please.
I think that Rusev is going to win this match. I think they're de-emphasizing Cena mode, because he's so over. He can jump into anything and be fine. But I think Rusev needs to win this because they need more heels.
All right, Zesty, it's you.
Okay, quick hits on this before I give my predictions. Rusev has been beaten, but he's never been pinned or submitted in a singles competition. If Cena wins this, it will be his landmark 700th career win, which I no doubt WWE will fail to mention. I don't know what you mean by will Cena swerve Rusev by being in his Russian band? What was that all about?
Remember they put out a what's it called, for extras. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
Because Rusev is going to have a Russian band. I don't think it's a band. I think it's just a marching soldiers or something. So they needed to get extras in at the venue. So it would be great if Cena was one of those guys and then just swerves and attacks Rusev.
Oh, that would be fantastic. And the biggest note of this match, which I find utterly absurd. Okay, Cena has had 2 submission losses in the last 11 years. One of them last month at Fastlane where he passed out, and one of them No Way Out 2004 triple threat with Call Me Kurt Angle and Big Show. He legit tapped. So he hasn't legit tapped in 11 years. That's ridiculous. Having said that, I'm going to pick John Cena to win.
Broad apple dough. Why? Why John Cena?
Why John Cena? I think it's part of me. Part of me is like, Cena overcomes all odds, and I think it'll. I think it's. I'm going with the Daniel Bryan IC title, John Cena US title, while Brock's gone and only main eventing every other pay-per-view. They can put these smaller mid-card titles in the main event. And I just don't see, like I said, I mean, he hasn't tapped in 11 years. I don't see it happening.
Fair enough. Zippy, go ahead.
I got Cena win this match because, well, wins lol. But it'll be definitely be a decent. It'll definitely be a decent match, and it'll definitely elevate the US title if the rumors are true, and also elevate Rusev if he makes Cena legit tap out. And that's probably not gonna happen because Cena wins lol. And he could be shorted in the feud alongside Lana if he loses though, and even then it'll be a bit of a waste of talent. But it'll be a pretty good match. Melter 2 3/4.
I'm looking forward to this match. Why? Because I'm a Rusev fan. I like his old school. He reminds me of an old school 80s wrestler. He just comes out, doesn't smile, waves the flag in your face, and then just leaves, or he just taunts him. He's great. He doesn't speak a language really that I understand except for when he chooses to. Lana, that's good. That's pretty good for obvious reasons, but now she's gone. She's pregnant. I have no idea what's wrong with her. But she's not there. Is she going to show up with Del Wilkes Patriot gear? I don't know what she's going to do. She's going to show up on Cena's corner? I have no idea. I want Rusev to win. I want him to completely Brock Lesnar. He's now a verb. I want him to Brock Lesnar, John Cena, until Cena can't... Because Cena, think about it, he got destroyed by Lesnar at the heavyweight. Now he's down to the US, or parallel, or whatever you think the belts matter. So now he's there. I want him to lose. I like Cena losing, because if we want the inevitable Hogan-esque heel turn from a super face, it has to happen where he is just beaten over and over and over. Rusev has to beat him. Apple Dough is going down. My markout moment would be as Rusev wins, but Cena wins low, obviously. Everyone picked John Cena to win. I picked John Cena to win if I had to put money on it. I don't want it to happen. Still. Tooth Fairy says that he thinks that Cena will turn during this match at WrestleMania, because if something is going to happen, and you're talking to yourself and you're creative, when should it happen? WrestleMania. So if WrestleMania tonight is just like any other Raw, even the Go Home Raw, which was sad and pathetic, where nothing happens, then what the fuck? We should all go watch tennis or something, because this company's not doing what we want to see. My opinion. All right, let's get into this. Tooth Fairy says, Rusev crushes Cena, overcoming the odds. However, after a failed 5-knuckle shuffle, Rusev puts on the accolade. Cena will be the first to get out of the accolade, and he goes to the rope. Then Cena gives Rusev 2 double A's, because you get the adrenaline rush in pay-per-views where you have to do finishers twice. That's just the formula. And puts him into the STF, formerly the STFU, for the submission. Cena wins, lol, and then he thinks he turns. How does he turn, though? You weren't clear on. You think he's turning, but how does he turn? I mean, okay, he beats up Rusev, then what? He turns. How? He shows up later. Type it in chat. We'll see. He'll heal up. He'll be heelish. Beforehand, he'll say to the crowd, "Hey, crowd, listen. I might do things that I'm not proud of doing, but I need to do them to get to where I need to be." I think he's done that before. I think he's done it. He's like, "I'm not a role model tonight because I'm John Cena." Do 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 do. I don't know. I don't see it happening. Not yet.
They haven't set up anything that would be impacted if Cena turned heel during the match. They have to set it up.
It's still fresh in my mind that he saved Edge's life from the soft tap or the curb stomp or whatever he wants to call that move. Because if he wants to, 3 people are fired, they come back. Oh, the only clause you could do. I mean, the whole swerve with Vince McMahon saying that Cena could reinstate. Okay, you know what's going to happen, but how? And how they did it was so PG. Cena as a heel, I don't know. I don't even know what that. The only way you can make Cena heelish is if you turn him into a Sting type character, and then he'd still get over and could still do the Make-A-Wish. But the WWE turned his back. But they haven't set up for any of that shit. So fuck it. Fuck it. All right, E. Don't forget that E says, I would say Cena, Rusev, and Triple H Sting match are tied for the most predictable finishes of the card. I don't agree with the Cena match, but the Triple H one I do. We'll talk about that next. Cena's been the plan. Cena's always the plan. That's always true. And Cena will be the plan at WrestleMania, except the U.S. title to return to the United States. Yes, but this isn't. There's no Cold War going on. There's just no emotional motivation for this match to happen the way it's happening. It's just not there. Why should I care? Oh my God, Russians are not going to blow us up. It's make. Well, I don't want to say anything politically incorrect and be recorded for it. Clippy, it says it's basically booking logic, unbeatable. When it comes to Cena, people want to talk about what's logical, and I think we've been doing that since that pay-per-view One Night Stand, the one from 2006, I think. So we've been talking about this for a long time. So either Cena's going to die or he's going to turn heel when he's 60 years old. Anyway, booking logic, unbeatable heel who everyone wants to see get what he's coming. Okay, that's fine. It could be anyone in the position against Rusev, and they could believably be seen as a winner. It could be Swagger, so basically anyone American that comes in and says I love America, beat Rusev. But this is Rusev. This isn't just some scrub with a 500 record. Since it's Cena, it's almost no question that he'll win. So Cena wins low, but it is important to remember that Rusev losing here doesn't mean that he's dead going forward. He's got a heat. He does have heat. I'll just read this. He's got heat, and with the way he's been booked for nearly half a year, he'll look strong. Rusev does look super strong. I like him as a traditional heel character. He doesn't interact with anyone except for the one person that he's working with and with Lana, and then other than that, it's just completely obscure. I personally like if you have like an American theme, then all the American themed people should come out. So Rusev, what's his name? Sorry, Swagger might have came out and done a tag, or just beat him up and say, "See, I got your back, bro," or whatever the fuck. Something cool. Doesn't happen. These Nuts says Apple Dough, United States champion, the grandest stage of them all. It's just all how he's trying to hype up. Anyone expecting Rusev to go over should be severely disappointed. They did this with Bray last year. Hopefully Rusev doesn't disappear from existence after this loss. How could he? He's a strong champion. He's basically Brock Lesnar if you think about it. No one can take that belt away from him. You've got Apple Dough that shows up and says, I'm going to take that belt because USA. He goes on Jimmy Kimmel. He says it again or whatever. He's talking about his storyline. It was Jimmy Kimmel, right? Was it? Yeah, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, it's Kimmel.
Did I tell you my predictions? I think I did, right? I want Rusev to win, but Cena will probably win. We always end up talking about Cena more than anybody else, which is ridiculous because we're almost about to hit time. But let's get the miscellaneous information. What are the odds makers saying? Because I'd like to know.
John Cena is the heavy favorite. That doesn't surprise anybody.
Shaking my head. Any additional information? Lana's missing, marching band. You've already covered all that stuff. So if there's nothing else to say, and we'll move on.
Regarding Lana, I think she's actually off filming a movie.
Yeah, I think she'll come back.
I agree. Yeah, but still film a movie. But this is WrestleMania, though. WrestleMania.
She'll be there.
She can get off for like one night, right?
$9.99. WrestleMania.
She'll be there.
Probably, yeah.
Will she be in the marching band? Will she take a mask off and attack Rusev?
She might lead them.
No way. She'll put that little pole right. Oh, all right.
Hey, as long as the lawyer's not there, we're all fine.
That lawyer was the best lawyer I've ever heard.
And as a side note, as a Texan, that offended me when you guys were talking about how Texan his Russian accent sounded. We don't sound like that, damn it.
Hey, I didn't say that. And who's we? Cole said that. I didn't agree. But, Russia's a huge area. So it's possible that someone speaks exactly like that in some sort of dialect somewhere. So, come on. Let's just educate. Let's expand our horizons a little bit more.
Russia's pretty much the Texas of Europe.
That's what I was going to say. Which isn't a bad thing. It's pretty big. Okay, moving on. We've got Triple H versus Sting. I'd like to say the most anticipated match. That's what they would want us to say, but it's just another match with some guy who used to be in TNA. But let's go to ASU and hear what you have to say.
I'm very excited for this match. I'm a WCW mark, so I love Sting. I think he's the best. I think that Sting's gonna go over, because that's how they've been building it anyway. So Sting goes over. I think it's gonna be a pretty good match.
Yeah, I've got Sting as well. I don't see Triple H winning this one. I don't see them bringing in Sting just to job him out to Triple H. This is the first match between the two arguably biggest stars to not jump ship during the Monday Night Wars. It's going to be the first match for Trips since June 1 of last year, and it's going to be the first match for Sting since January 16th of 2014, unless you're WWE, then it was 14 years ago on the last Monday Nitro.
Yes. Is that it, Zesty?
Yeah, that was it. Sorry, I think my shift button stuck.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that Sting's gonna win. He's gonna go over pretty obviously. It wouldn't make sense for Triple H to win unless Russo's coming back for one night and they pull a big swerve. It's gonna be a pretty good match. Heavy anticipation will probably help people anticipate it. Oh, actually, that's already the case. It'll help it be a good match if people heavily anticipate it. And yeah, Meltzer 4 stars.
4 stars. I think that this match is between Sting. Sting is definitely going to be the winner in the end, but I'm thinking forwardly. Is Sting going to show up on Raw? Is he going to show up on the SmackDown? Is Triple H just going to bitch about Sting and then we're going to get a rematch at another pay-per-view? Is he going to be another pay-per-view type guy, a part-timer? I get Sting wanting to go there. I understand his motivation to go to WWE after holding out for as long as he has. I'm sure he could have gone at any given point in time. WWE playing the fact that he basically was dead, disappeared, or worked in a car wash his entire time since WCW is stupid. I'm glad. I don't know if you guys read about what Ric Flair said to Cole or whoever it was. It's like about the reality of how often Sting had been wrestling. I think that Sting, all he's done is wrestled. I think that he will overcome the odds. Apple dough. He will apple dough Triple H. I'm still on the fence though, because where did this go? Triple H is going to be at the show every day. Is he going to be the loser that goes to the show and that's what you hear him doing promos, crying? I hope as hell not. Don't forget that we had Sting come visit Randy Orton during that whole showdown last time. So it's again the Authority. Are they going to line up together? But you know, he is the Legend Killer. Was he? I forget. Was it him who was Legend Killer, right? Randy Orton?
Yeah.
What did see? I wasn't around when Heath Slater was doing something with old people. What was that about?
That was just him jobbing out leading up to WrestleMania 1000. Not WrestleMania, Raw 1000.
Oh. Fuck.
They were good matches though, because they trusted him with the legends, and the first match was with Vader.
Shit, I gotta go back and watch that.
Watch all of them. The only one he won was against Doink.
I think that's Doink, and then he killed him IRL. I'm kidding. His Doink's dead. Anyway, so what do we got? We got Toothy, who says, Triple H, Toothy. You said Stinger's here in chat. I guess you typed that and you were waiting for me to mention you so you could hit enter. While it'd be good for Sting to go over, H has been the one who gets buried since Sting. Yeah, H is a loser. He's a perpetual loser. He will always lose. He wins here and there. He creates new factions here and there, but in the end, he will always lose. That's his formula. I mean, he's the heel who tries to put over faces, but I mean that is the formula. A heel is supposed to put over a face and make him sell shirts, and then you wait your turn before you're a face and someone else puts you over. But damn, H is tired of H. Let's see. Tuda says back and forth match. A few spots where someone was going to hit the other dude with their weapon. That's right. It's Bat versus Sledgehammer. Ridiculousness. But they dodge it. Weapons get away. At the end, Sting's about to hit the Scorpion Death Drop, and H reverses it. Steph distracts Sting with her boobies. I might be paraphrasing. Then H pedigrees Sting with his boobies and pins 1, 2, and 3. That is Toothy. E says Sting is winning this match. It wouldn't make sense to me unless Trips is out of power after this match. Oops, my music is over, but I gotta fix that. Trips is out of the power. It also doesn't make sense to me. Sting wins. All right, so because for unknown reasons, Sting is gonna win. We're not sure why. Hold on. All right, music should start. And Clippy and Donut say Sting. Sting's first match. Can't have him lose. I mean, Donut says you got two old people. I was never around when Sting was wrestling in WCW because you were an infant probably, and the build surrounding this feud has been lackluster. It'll be another slow, drawn-out match with entrances taking up a large portion of the segment. I don't understand what's happened after this match with this feud. Where does Sting go? Yes, that's exactly what we've been saying. What happens? It's fine to say this is the last pay-per-view, I guess, and then we're going to take a 3-month break. But that's not what happens. They're an episodic blah, 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 they say, and the train never stops. So what happens tomorrow? Does Sting come out, put a promo? He said he's not pro-WCW at the last event that I saw. So what is he doing? What's the point? Is he just harassing Triple H because the NWO came out? I mean, what's the ridiculous story that they're going to come up with? I'd love to know. What are the odds on this? I'm very curious about this match. ASU lives in a one-bedroom apartment with a very small bathroom. I apologize for him not being ready and prepared, but I think he's back now, ASU.
The Sting is the favorite of this match. That's what the odds
By a
makers
lot?
say.
By a little?
By a lot. You'd have to bet a lot of money to get any money out of the bet if you bet Sting. So
That sucks. Okay. Any notes? I heard that H has got some elaborate entrance or something. I read that today.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Supposed to be-
Terminator.
yeah, it's gonna promote the new Terminator movie.
That
Which
is going to be lame as shit. Do we all agree?
Yeah, that's why the
Yes.
set's in the Terminator font. It's because everything else is not in Terminator font, but the set is in the Terminator font, which doesn't make sense.
WWE logic. All right, we are 57 minutes in, so we're a little behind, and we're doing good though.
Oh, I wanted to bring up one thing. I think that's the Sting Triple H match is gonna have a bunch of run-ins by the legends, like Flair, and I think Booker might even get involved in it.
Yeah, we didn't consider that. We've got all the Hall of Famers in town. Hopefully they don't die the next night. R.I.P. Warrior. But you know what I'm trying to get at. I mean, they're there. It's the WrestleMania. It is the World Series. It's the Super Bowl. Blah 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 blah. So big shit's got to happen. You know, since we have a little bit of time, I want to say that because they went to the $9.99 format, I feel like they've kind of not been as creative as they have had to have been to sell a $45 to whatever $55 pay-per-view. It's a lot of money to watch for one event, but now it's $9.99. It's kind of like a Raw Plus in my mind so far, what I've watched since I've returned to watching wrestling. Do you guys have any comments on that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And as a side note, I think Sting's going to come out Monday and challenge The Undertaker to a year-long build for WrestleMania 32 in Dallas to sell it out. But yeah, I think the quality pay-per-view wise, like I said, it's Raw Plus, you know.
Yeah, I agree. The $10 intentionally devalued the entire show.
I agree. I mean, I want to say that WrestleMania should be more, but from their pay-per-views that have been on lately, they haven't been anything that special.
Yeah, I just hope that they consider them as pay-per-views. You're paying for the privilege of viewing. That's what it used to mean when I used to have a little pancake box and I used to not pay for cable. But that was a long time ago. I've been reformed. They don't even have those type of things anymore. But pay-per-views used to be very special. Now it's just something else, and to the point where we can easily just stream it, and here it is for free. And people are still reliant on free stuff. Let's hope that the WWE doesn't catch on to that and still tries to make things great. I remember hearing a Paul Heyman podcast with, I think it was Stone Cold, and he says that he when it was a split brand and he would listen to the SmackDown conference call, he would also listen to the Raw conference call because he's a sneaky bastard, and they were competing, the two shows were competing at that point, and he would listen and they would map out like 6 to 8 months of what people were to do leading just to WrestleMania, but ever beyond WrestleMania. And I always found that interesting, that this is the culmination of everything that they've led up to and they've thought up possibly as of, maybe August of last year or whatever. But the reality is, when you have a D-Bry returning and a Randy Orton turning, and then you kind of just keep throwing these little asterisks in, with people complaining about the next person we're going to talk about, Roman Reigns, they have to change their story on the fly. So any solid stories that they've had just ready to go, they have to just squash and change because they're listening to other people. They're listening to the crowd. They're not staying with it. And it kind of shows in their quality. And I think that's why it kind of degrades it all the way down to a Raw Plus instead of a pay-per-view. All right, that's my little diatribe about that. So moving on, we've got the champion Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Before we begin predictions, Zesty, if you could give out all the information you have about this match, because I want to get that out of the way first.
Okay, like I said earlier, Rollins still has the Money in the Bank title match contract, so that could come into play. And then the big news coming into the event, Brock obviously just re-signed a new deal with the WWE on a continual part-time basis. I think the word is 3 years, $3 million, but I don't know if Mets debunked that. I don't know how trusty Mets is, but anyway, Brock re-signed. That's concrete. Confirmed, whatever. And that is all I've got as far as the notes going into the match.
All right, thank you very much. ASU, begin your predictions.
I think that Brock Lesnar is going to win this match. It's going to be a long match to try to put Roman over a little bit more than he has, but he hasn't gotten over, so why would they put the belt on him? But I think at the end of after Brock wins, the Rollins is going to cash in, so that at the end of the night, the Authority wins the night.
I think if Rollins does try to cash in, I think either he's going to get demolished by Brock, or Ambrose is going to do what he said he promised he was going to do and be there whenever Rollins tried to cash in. As far as my pick, I'm going to say the WWE makes Roman Reigns look strong like they always do, and make Lesnar the champion for the retain. No, I think it was, and what I would like to see is kind of a repeat, sort of the Lesnar Cena, I think it was SummerSlam, where Lesnar just destroyed the ever living shit out of Cena in like 15 minutes. I'd like to see that, just, because that also that sets up a rematch if you want to go that route, and I think it also it makes Brock look like what was intended by him winning at last year against The Undertaker. You've booked him into this corner where he's this unstoppable beast. He's never going to get beaten. I think it follows that trend. I think he wins and just continues to win for God knows when, and then we'll all be like, Brock wins lol instead of Cena wins lol.
Yeah, I got Roman Reigns winning because, well, that's how they're going to be booking it, pretty much. Well, Roman wins lol. But yeah, either before, I actually wrote down my prediction before Brock re-signed. So I was like, it could go either way, but there's a higher chance of Roman winning. But depending on if Brock re-signed or not, it would have been shit on regardless at Raw. But with Roman winning, it's going to be shit on regardless at Raw. The scenario is that you have either a part-time champ, or you have a champ who's basically being forced down your throat, who's too green to be a champion. But with Roman winning, that could lead to Seth Rollins cashing in that night or the next night. Because, remember, there's always Plan B. But there hasn't been much hype. Actually, there's been no hype. That pretty much kills the match. It'll probably be the worst main event since WrestleMania 27. Meltzer 1.5 to 2 stars.
Thank you. All right, so I think I want to say thank you to the WWE for sticking to their guns that the winner of the Royal Rumble gets a championship match at WrestleMania. Obviously, they try to do some swervy crap where it's like, hey, you're not going to have it. You have to fight for it, D-Bry, and blah, blah, blah. But they stuck to tradition, and they're going to stick with it even though it might destroy them. You've got people who are going to WrestleMania who are there because they have money or whatever, connections, who are not real everyday, daily fans. Think about that for a moment. You got these scattered people, and then all of a sudden you've got all the people who are diehards that are there, and they're going to boo the shit out of Roman Reigns. And then all these people are like, well, why am I watching this as a main event if If I don't know who Brock is, okay, maybe I do. Maybe I know who that is. Roman Reigns, maybe I don't know. Maybe I do. A little bit. Talking about the casuals. But they're going to see that everyone's going to be like, boo, Roman Reigns, you're no good. You owe me money. I hate you. Then it's going to be like, it's going to be very bad if he wins. There's no way he can win. Brock Lesnar re-signed, if we're going to talk about IRL shit. So he re-signed, and he's getting paid as much as a full-time person would be. He said to work part-time. He did a wink at Coach, and then they went in the back and canoodle a little bit. That's fine. Why would he not be champion? You need something to strive for, and everyone needs to strive to get to Brock Lesnar. I think Rollins is going to cash in. If Rollins has a good night earlier I think if he wins, I think he's going to try to cash in, and he's going to lose once Brock wins. Something's going to happen after the fact. I don't know who at this point, but someone's going to do something to Brock, hurt him, incapacitate him possibly, and then Rollins is going to run in real quick, try to cash in, and it's not going to win. You know what? It could be the Show and Kane, because we haven't seen them yet. They're going to show up, they're going to hit Brock, he's going to be lying on the floor, and then Rollins is going to come in, and then Brock is still going to win, because you need to have someone that's untouchable as your champion for a long time anyway. And if it's 3 years, what's Brock going to do? He's going to show up every 3 months and say, I'm going to fight for the champ, and then lose again? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It just makes sense for Brock to win. Everyone except for, don't forget the E, says that Brock Lesnar is going to win. Toothy goes as far as saying that Rollins will cash in. Bork dominates, which is such a boring pay-per-view thing for Brock to do, where he just completely dominates. There's no emotion there if he dominates Reigns, but what else does Brock know how to do? He absolutely wrecks Reigns. Towards the end, Reigns pulls out a Superman punch and spear, but they don't do anything. Then Bork pins Reigns and retains, but Rollins rolls up and cashes in, but fails because of interference from Ambrose. That's funny you say Ambrose, because I don't know why you said Ambrose, but he says Roman Reigns. The ever so controversial main event. I'm excited for this match. So is E. Not because I expect good wrestling, but solely due to the aftermath and the backlash. The crowd will be bloodthirsty inside Levi's Stadium and inside the post-Mania Raw. If you asked me who would win before Tuesday, I would have said Roman without hesitation. Then Brock re-signed. Then he actually wrote re-signed instead of resigned, like most people do with a dash. Good for you, E. Good educational system in Virginia. Then he hesitated. But now he's on Brock's side. Now that Brock is here to stay, the best thing to do is to have Brock keep the title. Wait a minute. He's all over the place. Roman can even take the title off Brock, but not right now. Imagine WrestleMania 32, 100,000 plus in attendance. Wow, that's a lot of people. Roman at this point has become the face. Brock has won every match he's been in since Extreme Rules 2013. Spear after spear, after near fall after near fall. One earth-shattering spear goes right into the gut of Lesnar. Roman gets the fall, becoming the champion he can be. This is the super kappa I've ever seen in my entire life. There's no way that he believes that Roman Reigns is going to win, and there's going to be a build-up. It's just not going to happen. I don't see it happening. But that's what he says. Roman Reigns, CLP 605 says Brock Lesnar. Roman actually hasn't been built strong enough, which is true. He beat Bryan. He beat 29, quote unquote, men at the Rumble. Well, 28, I guess, if you don't count Axel Curtis. But who else? Orton. That would at SummerSlam before his injury. Rollins, sure, I guess, but he lost to him before already. Let's see, whether or not Lesnar has been built too strong is another question that is debatable. The fact that it's not clear what is happening exactly determines who's going to win. Its bottom line is Brock Lesnar is going to win. D's Nuts, let me just paraphrase what D's Nuts has to say. The heaping pile of potential shit everyone has been waiting for. The genesis of Lowell Roman wins. Hopefully Bork can show up his massive strength and give up a decent match. But I'm expecting a boring, drawn-out match. Neither seems to show the ability to call or carry. Both have movesets that are limited in the sense of putting on a good match. Hopefully the undercard can make this pay-per-view salvageable. I think that they know, to comment on that, I think that they know for a fact that Bork sucks at main eventing pay-per-views. Yeah, he's unstoppable, but is not entertainment. And if the E in WWE is supposed to be entertainment, they will do things to make it entertainment. Maybe the Russian band swerve will happen, where they'll just start marching in for zero reason, and they'll beat up Brock Lesnar and then leave him there. Maybe it'll become a DQ match, no DQ match, weapons match. There'll be ladders around still. Who knows what'll happen? I hope that something happens, the match gets swerved somehow, and Brock will retain. My mark-out moment is none, because if Roman wins, that just means we're going to make crazy emotes the next day and be mad about it. But Brock Lesnar winning and continuing to win. We're currently 10 minutes over, so I guess if this was live, we would have been perfect. By the way, we already talked about the notes. All we have talked about is the odds. What do we have for odds?
The odds are they're the same, so nobody knows who's gonna win.
Pick them on this one, but it's obvious that Triple H is gonna win. Really?
I don't know.
Get Joey One Eyebrow on the phone, because I want to talk to him and I want him to explain it to me. But
No. Joey Numbers, Taz's old buddy. Joey Numbers.
Yes.
I think he runs that thing.
I think you're right, down in Red Hook. All right, so is there anything else to talk about this pay-per-view? 4 hours. We've talked about all the matches, all the predictions, what we think is going to happen, what we hope is going to happen, our dreams. Where's Lana? I hope Becky Lynch comes out and says hello for no reason. That'd be great. Becky Lynch and Paige used to roll together. It would be great if she ran in and messed up that bathroom break. That would be great. I doubt that's going to happen.
I do want to say I'm watching the live stream of the Hall of Fame ceremony, and for whatever God unknown reason, the Usos decided to talk about Rikishi's ass, and they put a giant, like, zoomed-in picture of his ass up on the Titantron with all the dimples and everything.
Wow. Really?
So when you go back and watch the Hall of Fame ceremony, there's that to look forward to.
Oh, jeez. Is Donut the producer? Is he doing it?
Probably.
Alright, enough inside jokes. Apple Dough, / Bork wins lol 5, and / Triple H knows 6. That's my favorite.
Don't forget a frag botch.
Yes. Well, I made Fat Botch. I gotta make more botches. Those are fun.
/ blue pants.
Well, there is a frag botch, but you can't really tell what's happening, and suddenly somebody farts and there's a big cloud of dust. But it's okay. It's alright. We should have emote awards. That'd be great. But I guess that's the end. If there's nothing else to say, then this has been Nunzio is God. What do we call it? The Job Squad? Just Nunzio is God Job Squad?
Nunzio's God Job Squad.
There you go.
That's
what
the
easy to say.
worst fucking name ever. I'm glad. I'm kind of ashamed that I wasn't
You
there
weren't here last
to
night.
not pick that.
We saw how to make sausage, hot dogs, frozen pizza, fish fingers, as they say in England, and then we watched a bunch of children's TV show. Yeah, you should have been here last night. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did crayons too, and I made a Scott Steiner joke.
That's right, rose art. It was rose art.
Yeah, those are crayons. They got the fatty acids. They can't run fast because they got fatty acids.
It's true, because you have to put acids. Okay, everybody. Thank you, everybody for coming. Let's go watch the red carpet thing. I'm going to sign off now. So,
All right, goodbye. Apparently we've been
Bye.
live the whole time, though.
Apple dough. Boop boop go. Doo 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 doo. 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 Doo 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 doo.